Good morning, students. So we'll discuss a case study video today. Particularly, we'll be discussing about gear manufacturing. So gear is basically a power transmission device. It can be used to transmit power from one part to another. So where we are using gears, any idea? Very good. We will be using in bicycles, motor vehicles, cars. So wherever mechanical device is used, predominantly gears will be there. Assuming that. So you would have seen gears particularly in automobile, cycles, etc. So the main purpose of gear is to transmit power from one part to another. So if you see two gears meshing like this, it can transmit power from one part to another. Where it can transmit the power. So that's the main application of this gear. So other than this, there are some other instruments which can use to transmit the power. You have seen a belt drive, in a lathe there will be a belt drive which is used to transmit power. Similarly, in a cycle, there will be a chain. Cycle chain, you know that. So it is used to transmit power. So the major drawback with cycle chain, what happens if you push the cycle in a hill, what happens to the chain? Chain will loosen and it will break off. Okay, so the main reason for that is because it will be slacking. So the word is slacking. So when it is slacked, what happens is that the power transmission will be reduced. But in a gear, there is no possibility for slacking. So that's the main reason. Wherever in your automobiles or other parts, we are using gear. It's a major mechanical equipment. So today's case study is how to manufacture gears. You will see that. So before getting into manufacturing part, you have to first select the material. So what are the different materials used for manufacturing gears? Copper, aluminum, steel. So these are predominantly used for manufacturing steels. Can you say which parts is used where? For example, where copper is used, where aluminum is used, where main steel is used?
Copper is used in electrical wiring and plumbing, heat exchangers and watches.
Okay, so that's an application of copper. Copper gears, you'll be using it in, for example, you are using a watch. So in a watch, inside the watch, you will be having a copper gear. So why are you using copper gear?
Because it is high conductor, it's
Okay.
soft and corrosion resistant.
Okay, in your watch, every point is valid. So in your watch, why are you using copper gear? Think about the life. If you take steel, what happens after a period of time? See here itself, what happens to the steel? It is rusting. What about copper? Will it rust or it oxidize? It will not be oxidized easily. So that's why you're using copper in your watch because of durability. So what about aluminum?
So aluminum is flat components, automotive parts and packaging like LVDs, cans and food pies and construction materials.
Very good. So that is the property of aluminum. So when you use aluminum in a gear, these two parts, okay, feel these two parts, which is lighter. This is mild steel, this is aluminum, which is lighter. Aluminum is lighter. So the basic property of aluminum is that it is lightweight. So when you use aluminum gear, what's the property there? It is lightweight. Okay, so whenever lightweight applications are needed, you can use the aluminum gear. So the next particular gear is, what is this? Mild steel. So what about mild steel?
Buildings, machines and tools.
Okay, very good. So these gears can be used in buildings, machines and tools. So as the name indicates, if you take a building, if you take a machine, it is a heavy application, a heavy application oriented machine. Similarly, in an automobile also, you will be using steel gears. Reason being, it is hard. It is hard and strong. So that's why we are using mild steel. So now our particular application is to develop a gear like this. We have to make a gear like this. So what you have to do is, from scratch you have to make a gear. So from the scratch you have to make, what's the first process in manufacturing?
Sand casting.
Very good. You have to use a sand casting process. So what's the sand casting process?
We will prepare a mold.
Okay.
In that mold, we pour a molten iron. So in a desired shape, we will get
You will get it. So for example, you will get a circular disc like this. That's the maximum you can do. So what we can do next? Will it be strong enough to make a gear?
So after the post casting, we use heat treatment. In heat treatment, either annealing or normalizing is used to give a hardness, toughness, and wear resistance for casting.
Very valid point. Huh? So what he's telling is that if you use the cast part directly, so if you see here in the lathe part here, this is actually made up of cast iron. It's a casted part. When you apply a load, if you have a hammer or that, if you strike it here, what happens is that it will break naturally. The reason being, it is very hard but brittle. Brittle means it's like glass. Kannadi. What happens if you throw a stone on the rock? Glass, it will break. But mild steel is ductile. So that's why we are using mild steel. So what are the other operations we have to do here? Very good. To make this hole, we have to do the drilling process. How about the teeth? What I can do? So very good. You can use a milling machine. So milling machine is used to make the teeth here. The gear, this part is called as the teeth. Okay. So the teeth is only used to mesh the two gears. So you have to do a drilling. You have to do a milling. And what about the skewing? Very good. You can do it using a slotting machine. So these are the various operations needed to make this gear. First you have to choose the material. The material chosen here is mild steel. Then you have to do the casting process. Then you have to do
Post-casting.
heat treatment. Then you have to do the required operation. So that's how this gear can be made. I hope you all understood. So thank you, students. We'll see you in the next lecture.